Welcome everyone to this episode of the Mortgages by Gretchen show, where I talk to real people in the field of real estate and business who are not only experts, but they are generous and willing to share their knowledge and their wisdom with us here today. And the goal of the show is for you to gain some information and tips to help you to reach your goals in business and owning real estate, and to take some of the guesswork out of what to do or who to call in the process. And today I'm very excited to have Judith Tait with me. And Judith is a business coach helping women to stand out online, fearless and confident as the face behind their brand and in front as the forefront of their business. She built and scaled her first business to six figures using the leveraging power of a dedicated team, all while working full-time in a career as a police officer. And now her passion is to help women achieve the same personal and financial freedom and independence that she has through business ownership by teaching them how to build a solid business using her signature system to six-figure success program. And in addition to that, she wears many hats. She is a speaker, an author, and the host of her own television show, At the Heart of Business, hosted by Rogers TV Durham. Judith is also the owner of a second property and is wise about investing in real estate. Judith recently retired from policing after almost 25 years, and she's excited to enter this next chapter in her life. I first met Judith when our daughters played soccer together, and that was probably I'm around 12 years ago, I think. We became quick friends. We had a lot of interest in similar things, and Judy's passion and energy and knowledge also about exercise, nutrition, in addition to business, just amazing. So, Judy, if you would like to introduce yourself and say anything that I might have skipped, I'd love to hear anything else.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction, Gretchen. I think you pretty much covered everything there. Of course, I could go on and on and on, but yeah, I'm just so happy to be here and to share my knowledge and experience and passion for business with your audience.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, tell us how you decided to start a business in addition to also having a very demanding work career already as a police officer.
Well, actually, the way I started in business was through a disappointment in my career. Now, I recently retired from policing. I was on the police service for 25 years. And many years ago, I decided that I wanted to be in the canine unit. And that was actually my dream goal and dream job in the career. And after I didn't make it into that unit because I didn't pass the physical fitness test, which was extremely strenuous, and it was a timed test, and I missed the time by about 30 seconds. My vision of being in my dream job just kind of vanished, before my eyes, and I was quite devastated. And there was probably another opportunity for me to do it again. But at the time, it was something I really, really wanted to do. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? I almost felt like I didn't get my dream job. So what do I do? Do I quit? Do I continue? So I had to do some thinking. And then I thought, well, you know what? I really, really want to work with dogs because, of course, I love dogs and I love pets of all kinds. And I wanted to serve the community. So it occurred to me, well, why don't you just start, dog walking and pet sitting, just start your own business. And what started off as pretty much a hobby turned into a huge business. I didn't know anything about business at the time. So I thought, okay, well, how am I going to start this business? I decided to go back to school. I got my business admin degree. And just before I graduated, I started Move Your Doggy. And it just started out as me walking dogs. And of course, I'm working a full-time job. It was difficult to walk dogs all the time because sometimes, my clients needed me when I was at work. So I had to hire fast. I started hiring probably 6 months into it. And that's when I brought my first teammate on. And then after that, it just kind of, snowballed from there. I just kept growing my team. And I just recently added a manager to my team. And that's after 5.5 years in the business. I probably could have done it sooner, but I had to learn how to give up some control, which I have now, which frees me up to focus on my coaching business.
That's amazing. I didn't know all that history, so that's very good to know.
Yeah, thank you.
What would you say the biggest challenges that you faced in your business, and how have you learned from it?
I would say, oh boy, there's been a lot. Number one, running a business while working a full-time job. That has been a challenge. Just learning to balance work, business, family life, social life. That was a challenge, and getting my sleep. Um, People would always ask, when do you sleep? And I'd have to really think about it. Like, never really. I fall asleep while I'm working at my desk. I fall asleep, a couple hours before it's time to get up and go to work again. So just finding that balance was really challenging. Also, having to switch gears constantly. So in policing, I was a supervisor for about 11 years. So as a sergeant. And in policing, the personalities are very, very different compared to my team, my dog walking team. So constantly having to switch gears and almost be one person for my police officers that I manage, and then a different person for the dog walkers that I manage. Two different types of people, two different types of personalities, have to handle them two different ways, and constantly having to switch gears. It was I found that very challenging, and having to think in different ways. In the policing world, we have high expectations of ourselves and of our fellow officers. And trying not to have those same high expectations of a team of dog walkers who don't think and function and work the same way as police officers do. That was one thing that I had to learn. I really, really had to learn how to manage my expectations and understand that, my team of dog walkers, they may need a little more guidance and instruction and direction, as opposed to what I'm used to over here with the police officers who just get up and go. Like, they just see what needs to be done and know, like, you don't always have to, like, there are some officers who you always have to tell them what to do. But for the most part, police officers just have that personality where we take initiative, we jump into action right away, we just go. Whereas with my team, I had to really learn how to manage those expectations and the different types of personalities.
Yeah, that's great though that you recognize that, and that probably was very helpful for your business that you recognized the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Very cool. And tell us about your business coaching program. I imagine your experiences, you've learned a lot worth sharing.
Oh, yes, for sure. Well, my coaching program is great. I absolutely love it. And I love running my clients through it. And it's pretty much what I did to build my business to six figures, which is why I call it my signature system to six-figure success coaching program. So I have 6 pillars: marketing, sales, service, structure, community, and team. And yes, you're right, where a lot of the skills that I learned in policing, I've been able to transfer them to business, especially when it comes to building a team. Looking like what to look for. You have to know what you're looking for. You have to have your mission, your vision, your values, everything that I learned from the police service, because in order to attract the right people to your team, you have to make sure that you know where you want the business to go. You have the vision for your business, and you have to hire people who support that vision and want to go the same direction as you. Also, when it comes to community, I'm big on building a community. It takes a community to raise a business. So I teach my clients how they can build their community. When it comes to the structure of the business, and the structure is, there's so many things that come under structure. So whether you're going to operate as a sole pro or an incorporation, and also how you build the foundation of your business, and all the little things in the back end that we need to have in place, like having systems and processes in place, and building that team to run those systems. So you have like the systems run the business, and then you have the people that run the systems. And then also marketing yourself, like getting yourself out there. So many different avenues, like, social media is huge. So I coach people on that. And then of course, people find you on Google, and then standing out. So branding yourself. How are you branding yourself? How are you standing out? How are you making yourself unique and different from your competition? And then we look at things like sales, like different, like what do you sell? Are you selling services, whether it be, products and services that are of value, what people need? Are you listening to your customers? Do they, are you offering something that they actually want to buy? And how are you being of service? I'm very focused on being client centric and serving your clients and meeting their needs, and not so much about, the business and what the business wants. It's what the client wants. So just being very conscious and aware of that, and how do you present that?
And what caused you to decide to be a coach? Because you obviously like to be busy.
I know.
At least two big things on the go. Were people coming to you for advice, or how did that evolve?
Yes, people do come to me for advice. And before I decided to become a business coach, people would see what I'm doing with my dog business. And, they would ask me questions, or they'd ask, well, how do you do this? And how do you do that? And also just being a business owner, I realized how much freedom I felt. And I also wanted to bring these skills to other women, because I feel it's so important for women. And I say women because that is my nation, that, that's who I want to focus on. I think it's so important for women to be financially free and independent, and to always be able to take care of themselves, be able to take care of their children, and to know that there are options and ways of creating options. In my career, I saw way too many women in unhealthy situations, and they stayed stuck there. Now there's a lot of reasons for that, because it goes into the mental and emotional part of it. But a lot of women would stay in unhealthy situations because it was financial. They felt there was no other way, like their husbands, partner, spouses, whatever you want to call it, that was like they were the breadwinner. And they felt like, well, if I don't have my partner, then I have nothing. I'm not going to be able to survive. And that is so far from the truth. It does not have to be that way. And that is a skill I wanted to teach women, that you can take anything, you can build a business out of anything and teach someone something, turn it into a business, and you can support yourself while you're helping others in business. So that's why that was my main reason for becoming a business coach.
That's amazing. I love hearing that. And I think so many women can benefit from that. And it comes to mind a situation recently that I dealt with where the rising interest rates caused someone in a variable rate mortgage for their payments to go up, and they were very panicky. And just, having somebody like yourself who maybe coach them on, maybe they could start a side gig or some other way of bringing in income. You're a perfect example that it's possible for a wife, mother, employee to also have some other income. So I love that. And I'm sure the audience is going to want to reach out to you for those, for that reason as well. So that's amazing. Yeah. Is there any common sort of misstep or mistake that you see women making when they start their businesses, or maybe after? Is there kind of anything that really stands out that kind of happens that you kind of can help people avoid?
Yes, not recognizing their value and charging what they are worth. I see women undercharging, and you know what? I was one of those. So I'm not going to say I'm perfect. I was one of those, and I really, really had to step into my power and recognize my value. But women, for some reason, we don't charge enough for our services. Like, I've heard so many times, like, oh, well, I'd really love to do it. I would give it away for free. Okay, that's good, but you deserve to be paid for your time and for the value that you provide, right? Like, I really, really hate to see women, even after I've spoken to them and I've told them that you really need to be charging more. I hate to see that they're not charging enough for their services, because for whatever reason, they just don't recognize their value, and if they don't believe that they are worth people paying them more. Like, you will make, this is a quote, I don't even know where I first heard it, but you will make as much money as you deserve you should make, pretty much. I can't, that's not the exact quote, but basically you'll make as much money as you believe you deserve. And I can see that with a lot of women. They're not making the money that they should be because they don't feel that they deserve it. And often they will charge what they feel other people can afford rather than charging what they should be because they are worth it.
That's
And
a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, I've had experience with that as well. So I think that's a really important message, and having a coach to help you really consider that and be more bold in what you charge is a great gift.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. And just a side thing is that you do own a home outside of Ontario. You own a home in New Brunswick, and you, I think you've thought about other properties as well. And what's it like? Some people like the idea of that because prices are much less in many places outside of Ontario, but they feel intimidated by the distance. And so any advice on owning real estate outside of your local province?
Well, yeah, like, first of all, do your research and really get to know the area, and you have to know what exactly you're looking for, right? And why you want to own it. Do you want to own it because you want to live there and spend a lot of time there? Do you want to own it because you want like a rental property? So there's so many different things to look at. Also your lifestyle. So when we as in my husband and I, when we bought this place, I'm still here in our beach house in New Brunswick. I was still working full time, obviously. It was just last year that we got this place. And I wanted somewhere, like, I wanted to be on the ocean, but of course I didn't want to drive too far. So I figured, well, New Brunswick, it's only a couple of provinces over. I could literally leave in the morning and then be here by the end of the day. So I like the distance. Also, it helped that my husband, he's from New Brunswick, so I've spent a lot of time here. So I've really, really gotten to know the province, and I know that I absolutely love it here. So if you're not sure of where you would like to buy, just go out, drive around, like, just decide, I'm going to do like an East Coast trip, and we're going to spend a few days here in New Brunswick and a few days in Nova Scotia, and a few days in PEI, a few days in Newfoundland. Just try different places. Nowadays, you can rent Airbnb everywhere. So if you're not sure of where you want to buy, just go and do an Airbnb, and take your time. Like, there's no major hurry. Like last year we got in at a really good time because the prices just skyrocketed after that. But really take your time when you're deciding. Take the time to go and stay a few different places and just know what you're buying and know why you're buying it. And yeah, just be very confident in your decision.
I see another career in your future, real estate investing coach.
Yay! Well, you know what? It's funny you should say that because this weekend I'm actually going to look at another property, and it's more. You also have to look at what's around the area. So I want to do it as an investment property now, and it's rural, but it's not. So it's kind of in the woods, but there's stuff that's close by. And one of the things that's going to be a big concern is, are there cleaning services that will be able to go there and do the turnover after? So that's something that I have to look at, because I'm not going to be here to physically do it. Even if I was, I'm not a cleaner, so I'm not going to do it. So yeah, I'm going to go look at there's two houses on one property and then another property across the street. They're by the same owner. And one of the houses has 2 bedrooms, one has 1 bedroom, and on the other property on the other side of the street, it has 1 bedroom. So I got to think, things like who's going to be like, what do people come here to vacation for? Who is it normally that comes to rent it out? Is it families? Is it hunters, because I think you can hunt in the area. Is it friends or someone doing like a bridal shower? Like, you want to know who's going to be renting out the property, and what the occupancy rate is going to be like, because I don't want the house sitting empty for too long because I need to pay the mortgage, right? So there's so many different things to consider, but this is my third rental property that I've looked at since I've been out here since June. But I'm just taking my time and just doing my research.
That's amazing. And I like, it's kind of the same model as what you said before. Like, think of your audience. Don't just do what, you want. Do what, when people are coming to this area, what are they going to want? And I need to buy based on their needs. Makes sense.
Exactly. That's huge. The worst thing would be to dive into it and, not get the business. A property that I looked at a few weeks ago, it's very remote, and the owners bought it in October and they already had it up for sale. I think it was, probably a couple months ago. I think it was June or July. And I asked why, and it's because they live an hour away and they can't get anyone to go and do the turnover, and they don't have the time to do it. And they weren't getting enough people coming to the area, so they were losing money. And I'm thinking, well, I don't think they did the research before they dove into that one.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I'm sure they're taking advantage of the huge increase in price since October.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what would be your last piece of advice for Canadians right now?
In regards to property, or
whatever way you want to answer
it. Yeah, geez. Last piece of advice to Canadians. To anybody, life is too short. You really take care of yourself. Take care of your family. Make sure you tell people that you love them. And really focus on the things that bring you joy, because you don't know when's your last day on this earth. And one of my reasons, I have so many reasons for retiring early, because most officers will do 30 plus years, and I was like 25 and out. I just want to focus on things that bring me joy. Life is just way too short. You can work and work and work your whole life, or most of your life, because our careers take up most of our lives, and work yourself into the ground and then never see retirement. And it's not worth it. So many people, die or just get so sick before they retire, and that's not a good way to go into retirement, to not see it at all. And don't forget that you have your families and friends and people that love and support you, that want to be able to spend your best years with you. So don't forget those people. Don't work too hard, and just focus on what brings you joy.
Well, you're obviously passionate about what you do and have a lot to give and share. I am grateful for you sharing so much today. And how can people reach you, either for your dog care business or for business coaching?
So if you want your dog walked, we serve Ajax, Whitby, and Oshawa. You can contact us on the website at moveyourdoggy.ca. And just fill out the contact form and we'll call you back. And if you want to get in touch with me before I do that, we're also on Facebook and Instagram as Move Your Doggy, so you can get in touch with us there. And for coaching,
sorry, Judy, it's Move, right? MOVE, Move Your Doggy, right?
Yeah, MOVE, your YOUR, and doggy, DOGGIE. Yeah, Move Your Doggy. And for coaching, you can get in touch with me there's my website, judithtait.com. You can fill out the contact form there as well. And of course, I'll call you back. You can also follow me on Instagram at Judith Tait1, and on Facebook, Judith Tait Business Coaching and Consulting. I couldn't remember what it was called. Judith Tait Business Coaching. Just put it in the search bar, it'll come up.
Judith Tait, we'll find you. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time and your generous sharing, and have a good rest of your day.
Thanks so much for having me, Gretchen. Take care.
You're welcome.